This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I've already covered American Horror Story many of the seasons, including this one. And we talked about the theme, of the apocalypse, the end of the world, and the rise of the Antichrist, the rise of the witches. And I've also been talking about how the witches are being used as protagonists, as the good guys to save the world, which happens to be the common theme in all of these new shows that keep coming out. From Sabrina the Witch to Charmed, right, to Fantastic Beasts. It's all these movies that glorify witches. But you've got to see this scene from American Horror Story, which pretty much, like everything they do, is inverted, right? These three Satanists arrive. They've found the Antichrist. They followed the stars in the sky. And the house happens to be buried right over the pit of hell or some, nonsense like that. Well, it's not really nonsense, but because hell does exist. But they mock Christianity. The guy looks just like Anton LaVey. What a coincidence, right? But watch the ritual ceremony that they perform. It's the same stuff that we constantly see, that I constantly am showing you, the repetition of this stuff, the cannibalism with the eating of a heart, okay? And these rituals, and they just happen to have the Baphomet behind them, right? The satanic Baphomet. So take a look for yourself.
For you, Michael. It's all for you. Hail Satan!
I mean, this is just being aired on FX, regular cable channel, right? More normalizing of this stuff, right? And people watch it and they're like, oh, it's so cool, right? And then there's other people who watch it and go, come on, man, it's just a good TV show. I need a good scare. I like to get scared. You like to get scared? How about this? Turn the remote control off, go to the mall, the closest mall to you, and walk around. You'll be pretty scared pretty quick, all right? Take a look at how people are dressing. Take a look at how everyone's walking around on their phones, walking into each other. Take a look at men dressed as women, women dressed as men. Scary out there. This stuff you're seeing in these shows, which is scaring you, is desensitizing you from the truth, right? And then you have the Satanists who say, oh, but we don't. No. We don't do anything involving human sacrifice. Oh, okay. Well, we only just see it over and over. We see your logo, your symbol being used. Then why don't you, instead of spending your time going after Christians all the time, why don't you go after Hollywood and say, hey, stop making us look like Satanists. Stop using our logo, our symbol of the Baphomet. All right? But no, of course not, because they're liars and deceivers. So I thought it was pretty interesting that the Antichrist here is being portrayed, which you don't see in the clips that I showed you, but he's being portrayed as a victim. They'll show him crying, going through therapy, using the Rubik's Cube, which I've covered, which used to be called the Magic Cube. That's what the Rubik's Cube is, right? I mean, all this stuff right there in our faces. Of course, this house, which these murders, these ritualistic murders is taking place inside of course, they go out of their way to show you what. What a surprise. The black and white checkerboard tiles. Must be a coincidence, right? I guess it's just the flavor of the month. Everyone's just loving it. Right? All these things that are about Satanism, the occult, these celebrities, they all have the black and white floor. All right, but nobody wants to believe that stuff. All the music videos wearing it, or either wearing it or dancing on it. Right? All the award shows. Incredible, right? So as this woman talks about the raising of the Antichrist, you can even see the 666 behind his ear as he's sleeping. All right? And then these, three, mocking of the three wise men show up. They know that he's the chosen one, or he's the Antichrist, because just like, they're mocking, Jesus being born and the three wise men. And they show up there, they kidnap a girl, which is extremely common. I mean, people think these are like urban legends. Like, oh yeah, people went missing and kidnapped, and then no one ever found them again. That's because when they're ritualistic killings, you aren't going to hear about it. Because the DA is going to cover it, the police department's going to cover it, the government's going to cover it, and the news media ain't going to report on it because they're going to go, well, it's a missing person. They're a hitchhiker. They probably, they'll play it off and say, well, they probably don't really matter. They're hitchhiker. I mean, then people go, oh, yeah, Right? So they kidnap a hitchhiker. They got the upside down cross hanging in the car. And, they ritualistic sacrifice her, take her heart out, which, constantly seeing this cannibalism, right? And the drinking of the blood of the heart, reaching in, taking the heart out, and then him eating the heart and thanking his father, Satan, as in you could see behind him on the wall, and all these Satanists are speaking in tongues. I mean, this is just being normalized. And nobody believes this stuff's going on because they see it on TV shows. They're like, oh, it's fiction. It's, it's a TV show. It's American Horror Story. Come on. They're just trying to scare people. Yeah, right. Repetition, seeing this stuff over and over. And again, the female characters in the show, the witches from the coven, are the ones who are, trying to become the heroes of the show, right? That maybe the Antichrist is too strong. The power of the Antichrist is too strong. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? It's absolutely ridiculous that people can't see this stuff. Remember, Satanists now, they don't believe in any of this stuff, right? They're only performing a black mass, pretty much. This are the rituals that they do. The Satanists do these rituals, and then they say they're mock rituals. They call them black masses, right? And they go, well, we're just playing off of the Catholic Church mass, and we're just making a mockery, and everyone's having a good time, right? And they sell tickets to it. They have a body laying on the table. They do a mock sacrifice, probably do a real one right after it. Right? Just showing people this stuff. And people are just like, oh, it's so cool. I was a part of a mock sacrifice. There's something cool about being part of a mock sacrifice ritual. Are you kidding me? Same with the Bohemian Grove, right? We see the cremation of care. They claim it's a mock ritual, right? Of course, we get that convenient footage from Alex Jones, which shows a mock ritual, right? But people who have been there before and who have, somewhat have escaped the occult, who claim to have, been wizards and witches and all this stuff, claim that they do the real sacrifices there, which, I mean, who would be surprised? But that I'm surprised here, that they're not real rituals. You shouldn't be surprised to hear that they're real rituals, but everything's inverted, right? So that people are like, oh yeah, of course, it's a mock ritual. It's like a play, right? It's tell you it's a play or it's some type of art. Just like this crap garbage TV show that they're spewing down everyone's throat. So American Horror Story, talking about the end of the world, the rise of the Antichrist, the rise of the witches, how the only ones left that have survived are the elite. Does all sound familiar? Right? We're seeing the rise of the witches now. We know that the elites have this stuff all prepared, right? Their getaways. They can even go on like CNN and you can see like where the elite plan on going in case of an apocalypse articles. And people are just like, oh, that's funny. They literally have bunkers underground. Like, how come Tom Cruise is a bunker underground? Oh, he's just some crazy Scientology guy. Right. They're all aware. Because they're the ones who are planning all of this, right? They know that Scripture is going to be fulfilled, and they think that they can fight against it, but they can't. The joke's on them, right? And again, sympathy for the witches, common theme, sympathy now for the Antichrist is what they're showing you. And showing you the cannibalistic eating of the heart, which I've covered dozens of times, that these are just common rituals that Satanists do. And they'll say, no, we don't do that stuff. Where's the evidence? Where's the proof? People come out and admit it, and they go, they're just crazy looking to make money, right? Bodies just go missing in a world where there's cameras on every corner. You can't escape anything. There's cameras in your home, and everyone's just going missing. I mean, it's insane. It really, really is. But this is just the world that we live in now. Normalizing this stuff, showing you it in plain sight, and everybody going, no, it's fiction, when fiction is really on your news stations, right? And these shows they claim are fiction are indeed truth, revealing the truth, desensitizing people, and that's because they've inverted everything. And that's how the occult works. Everything is flipped over on its head, and that's why we've got men dressing as women, women dressing as men, and parents letting their kids choose their own gender. I mean, it's insanity out there, and it's sickening. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.